Success guitarist and sax player Kirk Pengilly has seen the highest highs of rock and roll success, but during the 80s he came very close to losing his eyesight. He joins us on the Circle Couch today to talk about that scary time of his life. Welcome, Kirk.
Good morning. And scary it was.
This is a story I've never heard, and I've followed your career quite closely. Tell us what happened in the 80s with your eyesight.
Well, we were touring up the East Coast and on to Darwin, and I started to notice halos around, street lights at night. Thought it might have been too much beer after the show, and it sort of progressively got worse until I think the last show of the tour was in Darwin, and I woke up in the morning, couldn't open my eyes, excruciating pain, and I got back to Sydney and found out that it was glaucoma. So. Whoa!
Well, what does that mean? What's glaucoma?
It's well, basically it's the eye has pressure inside, and there's little canals in the front of the eye that allow the pressure to adjust, and they got blocked, and so the pressure builds up and it sends you blind because the blood can't flow into the eye. So I had pioneering laser surgery where they sort of burnt a hole through the front.
In the 80s, yeah.
Yeah, through each eye, and I've had no problem since.
So did you have bad eyesight as a kid?
Yeah.
I mean, what age was this?
I was about, I think, sort of mid to late 20s.
Right, so but you had bad eyesight, but it wasn't picked up?
No, it wasn't, which is weird, and that's sort of the message that the Eye Foundation's trying to get out, is get your eyes
checked.
Yep, in July. Yeah. Because if
July.
If you detect these sorts of diseases early, they can, they're preventable or treatable. So,
yeah. So they could have done yours if they'd have checked your eyes earlier.
Yeah, well, I had eye checks, but not sort of full glaucoma, I've been wearing glasses since I was that high.
Oh,
so.
Right.
Can you just quickly tell us what do they do in a glaucoma check? They do anything painful?
No, it's not painful at all. It's just a machine that you stick your chin in, and they basically, a little thing comes in close to your eye and goes, and somehow that measures the pressure in your eye.
Is that like when you have your eyes tested normally, or do you have to ask for that to be added on?
That I'm not sure, actually. I think these days especially if you've got a family history. But, I think with getting your eyes checked, it's like any other health thing that you do, the dentist or whatever, everyone should get their eyes checked.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question? What was the wackiest thing that happened during your In Excess days early on? Come on, there must be something.
Well, I have fallen off stage and things like that. I don't know if that's wacky.
No.
Quite a few hotel stories.
Yeah, huge parties after your shows.
Oh, look, sometimes, but we're professional, and you've got to pace yourself and look after yourself and
pace yourself.
Yeah, you've got to put a show on to the highest of standard every night. So, yes, there were parties here and there, and sometimes you'd pay for it the next day.
You sure do. You do learn after a while not to go too hard, don't you?
We were young, though.
And also being professionals, what happens on the road stays on the road. As well, Kirk Pengilly. Now, tell us about, the last I heard about your band was a bit of a stoosh between J.D. Fortune, who won the competition Rockstar In Excess, to be your lead singer after the sad passing of Michael Hutchence.
Yep.
And then it seemed like there was a little bit of a weird falling out, a miscommunication where he thought he was no longer the lead singer of the band.
That's pretty much it, yeah. Yeah, we finished up touring and decided we were going to have a year or 2 or 3 off, and I think, JD just went a little crazy not knowing what was happening, and he was doing a solo record and all that, but we've kissed and made up
you
now,
can afford to have like 1 or 2 or 3 years off, whereas this other boy would probably want to keep going.
Yeah, I think so. I think, the whole experience for him must have been just incredible, from coming from nowhere, doing this, TV show that went across the world, and then all of a sudden thrust into massive limelight, having to, front In Excess.
And then nothing.
And
so what is he doing now?
Well, we're doing some shows with him coming up in July.
Oh, you've got Broome and Townsville.
Yes, yeah. So, he's coming out here shortly, and we're going to do some songwriting while he's out here.
And what about touring again?
Yeah, definitely. We're just sort of really waiting to finish this record we've been working on, and then we'll have something, a reason to tour.
Now,
Right.
we know that you've been seeing 7-time world champion surfer Lane Beachley
Yeah.
for years now.
Yes.
I heard a rumour that there's plans that you guys are going to tie the knot this October. Is that true?
Yeah, I
Kirk?
think I spilt the beans yesterday, actually, in another interview. But, yeah, we're planning to get married in October. So,
Do you go
looking forward to
surfing?
it. I do stand-up paddleboarding.
Oh,
which is
right.
that kind of weird-looking one where people look like they're walking on water. You know?
Okay. Well, our message is to make sure you go and get your eyes
Yep.
tested, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's not just
Diploma.
people who wear glasses, is it? It's just
No, it's just
everyone.
everyone. I mean, even from birth, you should.
Sure.
Look after
You
your
might need some
eyes.
help getting there, but, but you know.
Please thank our guest, Kirk Pengilly.
Thank you.
And make an appointment to get your eyes checked in Jewel Eye. Bit clunky, but kind of works, Jewel Eye.